It's insane to me that we have seen such a recent increase in political violence, and now our president, instead of seeing this as an uncontrollable thing, is seeing this as a beautiful snowball to militarize his own agenda against the people. We have reached authoritarianism. We have reached full dictator behavior, trying to control the news. Apparently, if 97% of the news says something bad about you, that's hate speech, and it's illegal, even though Charlie Kirk died to keep speech free, allegedly. 9 months into this presidency, and we've reached a point where war on education, war on leftists, war on anyone who is different, war on immigrants, war on trans, and it's not going to stop. Hello, my salty salamanders, and welcome back to the Boredwalk podcast. My name is Ansley, and today I'm joined by my coworkers Tess and resident illustrator of all Boredwalk products, Matt Snow. Woo! Ow! Wow! Who is highly uncomfortable right now. So, a very interesting week of news that we have had. Does anyone want to start with their topics? I feel like they kind of flow into each other.
Kamala Harris has been on her book tour, and a lot of people are protesting it. A lot of people on the left are protesting it because it's basically people who are super left are like, you didn't do enough for Palestine.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
That's the exact energy that lost us the election in 2024. I'm sick of you.
And the thing is that Harris on her book tour has expressed compassion for the Palestinians. She has expressed her support for Mandami in New York, who is pro-Palestine, like has made that a part of his platform. Like, she has said these things, and I understand that the Biden administration did not do enough, and like obviously not a single person here supports the genocide of Palestinians. We don't like it. Not a fan at all.
I hope every single one of these voters personally voted for Harris in 2024, because if they were a third party, if they discouraged anyone else from voting, you don't get a leg to stand on right now.
All of these people voted for Jill Stein.
Jill Stein.
Yeah, not a single one of them voted for Harris.
The infighting of the left is genuinely so cancerous, and it is pissing me off to say you're not doing enough while I'm literally doing nothing except adding fire to the flame.
It's just blue hat MAGA. They're the other side of the horseshoe.
100%.
Yes.
Harris basically came out and said he won the primary. This is who the party should support. But they're like, well, that's not vocal enough. You're not really, really being enthusiastic with your support. Meanwhile, he was vocally opposed to her candidacy. So I'm like, look, she said what she is supposed to do, but she doesn't owe him anything. She doesn't owe these people anything.
She also already tried to save us. She already tried.
Also, it's like she is now a private citizen.
She's also the vice president.
Yeah. I just feel like the energy here, I'm like, I understand where it comes from. There is a genocide happening. Yeah. It is horrific. There are genocides happening in other parts of the world as well that is not getting very much attention. But then
boycott Israel-owned places. Like, why Kamala Harris of all people?
Where to put that energy?
No, it's just stupid. It's uneducated, and it's stupid, and it's a waste of time and a waste of resources.
Causing problems within our party. We need to be united with far left. We need to be united with moderate lefts. We need to be united with moderate Republicans at this point.
Perfect is the enemy of good.
Who we are right now up against literal fascism, which I think is one of the topics more garbage that's happening in the world that we'll get to. But that is what we are actually up against right now.
Okay.
And so I can talk about my other thing, and then we'll like segue into that. My other thing was, we be out here shooting people. And
one thing in America,
horrible.
There's gonna be a shooting.
We've had
graduated from schools,
4 mass shootings. One at a Mormon 6. Over this weekend.
Over the weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One was at a Mormon church.
Thoughts and prayers, though, right?
Yes. Thoughts and prayers. The other big thing that is happening right now, and this is like, I think, a big, what's now going to be the legacy of the Charlie Kirk shooting, or what has now happened, is this. Now both sides are being like, oh, like, the right wants to be like, oh, they were an extreme left person. They were Antifa. They were whatever. Like, that's who did the shooting. And then, the left wants to be like, no, they were a registered Republican. Like, and realistically, most of the time, these people do tend to be far right extremists, or they tend to be not politically aligned at all, young white men who are spending all their time on the internet, who are a part of these niche internet communities and aren't like assimilated into society the way that like they need to be. And it's really concerning. I feel like what's happening right now with the conversation around these mass shootings, and with both right and left pointing their fingers at each other, is really unhelpful. First of all, as obviously we're all Democrats, we're all on the left. So like in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm sorry, but Democrats, we're like, you know, we're not doing mass shootings. Like, that's not really our thing.
No, I thought we were too delicate and snowflakey to pick up a pistol.
And I'm sure it happens sometimes, but like ultimately at the end of the day, it is a lonely white young male epidemic. Like, that is what it is.
Makes me wonder what the parents are doing, because if I spent unlimited hours in my room, my mom was up there being like, you need to come spend time with the family.
Yeah.
Like, I was indoctrinated into Percy Jackson fan chats. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are getting red-pilled into being extremists.
Well, and the algorithms right now, and I really hope that parents with younger boys right now, like boys who are in middle school, are becoming more educated about what the algorithms are doing to young
Their
boys.
brains,
Because it is insidious, and they are coming for them. Apparently Discord is a really bad one right now for recruiting young boys. YouTube is bad. Like, it's really not good. I was watching The Daily Show yesterday, and I felt like Jon Stewart had a really like good point about this, because ultimately he was talking about all the shootings, and it was like the pointing the fingers at like, oh, it was the left, oh, it was the right, and he was like, who cares?
Seriously.
Like, because at the end of the day, there were 6 mass shootings over the weekend.
At
that
churches.
Is up, and whatever is wrong with these people, they are not well. Like, there is a young white male mental health epidemic that needs to be addressed, and it is a problem. And it's like not all young men, but like this is like
always a young white man.
Yeah, it's like a very niche community of people who are being pulled into this, like,
and they all
really
have the same
thing.
descriptors. Their parents will tell you the same thing. Their friends will tell you the same thing. They were lonely. They were in their room. They didn't talk to anybody.
Well, that was a big thing. One of the shooters, they, because we're doing all this finger pointing, and there were 6 of them, so I don't know which shooter it was, I'm going to be honest, but they were looking at his political affiliation, and he was like raised Republican, but maybe like donated some money to a Democratic candidate. And so, you know, the right and left are both being like, he's yours, he's yours. And then they talked to their friends, and they were like, oh, he wasn't politically active at all. And it's like...
Yeah. It seems like irony and sarcasm is really what they are affiliated with.
Yes,
and so
their internet memes are their god. Like,
right. And so, like, if I'm a disenfranchised, alienated young white male, and I am basically modeling myself on all of the troll behavior that I see online, and I'm basically turning myself into a troll, what would be the most hilarious thing to do? Use different voter registrations or donations in my past as a tool for misdirection, just to create this exact kind of
and they have,
bickering.
And they're doing it. They're doing a great job at it.
Yeah, and I think that is the other thing that is so dangerous about this kind of thing is these kinds of conversations and the discourse that you see in the media right now about this very thing is a manifestation of the most power that these young men have ever been able to wield.
Yeah.
And so it becomes an attractive and appealing thing for them to be able to create that kind of a stir, even if it means hurting someone, hurting themselves, killing themselves, or being killed in the process of doing all of this. And it's just like there's just this like through line of nihilism about all of it. And yeah, Hensley, to your point, like, where are the parents? And I know that like no one likes when people ask that question, because everyone's just like, being a parent is such a hard job.
Then don't have kids. Like,
yeah.
The youth, they don't learn. They can't retain information.
Yeah.
They don't have critical thinking skills. And this isn't coming from me being a white Karen. This is me coming from hearing educators, listening to people who are working with the youth. Like, we've reached a point where parents don't know how to parent, and they literally believe the atomic family is something they're supposed to just have. So when we have Republicans trying to pay women to have babies, or this discourse that you only have worth if you're a mother, like don't have kids. First of all, if you don't want them. Two, if you have them, understand it's going to take more than putting an iPad in front of their faces for you to raise a fully functioning human.
Yeah.
Like this is, I don't care if you're MAGA, Republican, conservative, Democrat, liberal, like I don't care. The expectation of what you give to your child once you bring them here, against our will, mind you, is to assure that they are a well-adapted member of society. And we are failing because parents are lazy. And I'll say it because I see it. You guys are lazy. Stop having kids.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science.
Don't be pro-birth, be pro-life. That means you got to stick around for the entire duration. That is your life sentence there. You got to be engaged.
Started when you conceive.
And you have to be on top of like I feel like it's like I get it
for their kids. No.
The situation that we are in currently with social media and the internet and algorithms and where things are going, it is changing rapidly. And like, probably if you have a child in middle school, you did not anticipate that the world was going to look this way, but like, guess what it does? And when you sign up to have a child, like, you are signing up for chaos. You don't know what's going to happen. You do not get, there is no like set plan. You don't know what kind of kid you're going to get. You don't know how the world's going to go. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, it is the ultimate, I think, form of just chaos.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is what you signed up for. And you do need to help prepare your children. And especially right now, like, it is scary. I feel really scared for kids right now.
Yeah, I feel terrified for their creativity. I mean, this is off topic, so we won't get into it, but SAG-AFTRA, or not SAG, but the industry just revealed their first AI actress.
Yes.
And so it's just like we're reaching a point where I'm not having kids. I pledge to never have children. One, the world is too uncontrollable. It's too scary. And I don't think there's going to be a future for them to grow up in.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So my bloodline ends with me, and I think that's hot.
I, in hindsight, am very fortunate when I was born and the timeline that I lived in as a child, because I kind of vaguely remember a couple of nuclear attack air raid drills that I had to do when I was probably first getting to school, like first grade maybe. But then that quickly like just went away because everyone in the West could see that the USSR was crumbling and that was the Cold War was ending, and that wasn't really going to be a pervasive threat the way it had been from like the late 40s until then. And then I graduated from high school the year before Columbine happened. So I didn't experience active shooter drills. And it sucks that everyone since then has had to deal with that, because I think that even like having to learn how to navigate that as a kid, even if you are, you know, fortunate enough never to have it happen in your early childhood education through high school, just going through those motions of having to learn how to like do that.
Yeah,
there's going to be a traumatizing component to that. It's not as traumatizing as experiencing an active shooter event in your school and seeing your friends.
We shouldn't have to train kids on what to do if there's like when I was a substitute teacher. If I'm in a classroom, the first thing I'm looking at is where are the windows, where are the things we can move, how do we barricade the door, and that's anywhere I am now.
Yeah,
because active shooters, as we've seen, they aren't just like they're going to schools, they're going to churches, they're going to mosques, they're doing it at music festivals. There is nowhere that is safe.
Yeah,
nowhere that is safe. And this is working really well to serve this interest of the president, who recently had a press conference this morning, essentially instructing all military leaders that they need to be practicing in these dangerous cities. And what he means by dangerous cities is the uncontrollable ones, where he has deployed the National Guard, such as Portland, Chicago, LA, New York even, where we are standing up and being like, no, this is a fascist regime. We absolutely will not succumb to this. And now he is telling military, like, if you leave this room, you can leave this room if you don't like what I say, but you will lose your rank, you will lose your future, you will lose your life. He is actively amplifying the military to go against citizens. Not even just that, but he's also introduced a bill where it's like NSPM-7 is fundamentally a law enforcement directive, and it dispenses with the complications of using the active duty military or the National Guard in pursuit of political violence. And what is considered political violence? Anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the United States government, extremism on migration, extremism on race, extremism on gender, hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, hostility towards those who hold traditional American views of religion, and hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on morality. And it's insane to me that we have seen such a recent increase in violence and political violence, and now our president, instead of seeing this as an uncontrollable thing, is seeing this as a beautiful snowball to militarize his own agenda against the people. Mm-hmm. So we have reached authoritarianism. We have reached full dictator behavior, trying to control the news. Apparently, if 97% of the news says something bad about you, that's hate speech, and it's illegal, even though Charlie Kirk died to keep speech free, allegedly, by his tweets. 9 months into this presidency, and we've reached a point where war on education, war on leftists, war on anyone who is different, war on immigrants, war on trans, and it's not going to stop. A lot of the military, though, I mean, I've known a lot of military people, and I know a lot of them who go into the force specifically because it gives them power and it gives them ability to do things. So I can see this going two ways, and I see a true civil war approaching American soil. And I think it's here, and I think, like, when you have the military threatening with following orders versus
them into Portland,
knowing they have no future, if they choose to deny and follow the true Constitution, they will have no future. And that is horrifying. But we already knew that America doesn't care about veterans, right? Based on the homeless population. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm really not surprised that Trump is viewing them as expendable little monkeys to do his bidding.
I would love nothing more than to live in an America where the left was able to fight amongst ourselves safely.
Yep.
And where we could have these arguments about, you know, getting more... Like, I want that. I would love for that to be the situation. That's not the situation right now. And, like, we need to be getting as many people who agree that we should not live in a fascist country where the president is basically telling the military to, like, kill citizens. We need to be uniting with those people. And that includes people who are Republicans that I don't agree
Moderate,
with.
yeah.
Like, but as long as they're not a part of the, like... the brainwashed
MAGA
version
cult.
of yeah
it's terrifying. And not just to mention the attacks on American quote-unquote citizens, but seeing the way that the regime has punished any immigrant who has tried to be here. Like, we have reports of children who are being used as like bait for their parents, so their parents can get arrested. We have children, once they are detained by ICE, being held in facilities with no food, no water for days on end. We have over 1,000 immigrants who've gone missing from Alligator Alcatraz. And part of this is they do this so their immigration attorneys are just confused, right? Like, we don't know where they're going. We don't know where they are. We can't fight for them if we don't know where they are. So when we have all these brainwashed people thinking, well, they just didn't follow the law of the land and we still value the Lord. And I don't understand how we've reached this point of brainwash where I was telling someone exactly what's happening and all they could do is quote Bible verses back at me. And it's like we've reached this point where I truly don't know how to sow the division. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to change it. We have a president who stokes it. We have an entire administration who is looking to add you to a list, to dox you, to arrest you, to punish you if you don't agree. Like, guys, how much more clear does it have to be?
I feel like the people who really, really, really need to be helping right now, especially with maybe trying to get people out of this, are people who are, like, if you're a moderate Republican, like,
stand
please
up.
help. Please help.
It means so much more to them if it's you that says it.
Yeah,
like,
they're
if you
not
are
gonna
ex-MAGA.
listen to...
No, because the left has been saying everything that is going to happen. We said, hey, it's gonna financially you guys, it's going to do this, it's going to do this. And we're like, we want to own the libs. And now everyone is suffering. So if you are ex-MAGA, if you are a moderate Republican, like, this is the time. This is your moment. Take my mic. Like, seriously, because I'm already talking to the choir. Everyone here agrees with these views. Everyone that watches this podcast probably understands and agrees with these views. If you are in situations with people you know do not hold these views and are okay with this, find a way to get through to them, and please tell the internet why you defected. The internet is a very valuable tool right now, and even though the algorithm is changing because of Daddy Trump, like, we've got to do something, babe, because our founding fathers, whole rebellion because they raised taxes. We have now increase in tariffs. Our farmers are being punished. Your civil rights, your First Amendment rights, it's all being affected. And you guys are like, okay with it because he says he's a Christian.
This whole like thing where he's like, anything that's anti-Christian is a problem. Like,
is also a problem.
Freedom of religion.
There should be no dominant religion.
Well, yeah, one of the things that's been particularly frustrating since Charlie Kirk's murder is we talk about kind of there being a gun problem, but in terms of the federal government's narrative, they're using this as a way to erode First Amendment protections, but no one's said a peep about the Second Amendment. And like maybe revisiting that and maybe, amending that amendment to be a little bit more modern.
We love the Second Amendment. We love it.
The only time they don't like it is when a gun is in a leftist hands.
Yeah, a woman's hand,
churches,
a trans
schools,
hand.
It's all perfect. They don't mind kids getting shot, obviously. They don't care about the safety of kids at all, obviously, because they aren't pushing for the Epstein's list. They are clearly fine with the president on it that many times. Like, sorry, I just started a MAGA hate parade right now. I just got let me take a second, calm myself.
This is the whole Bannon playbook from the, first term on steroids, where it's just flood the zone with so much insane shit that you can't keep up. Like, I was even thinking about this while I was like reading about my contributions to today's episode about ICE flagrantly disregarding laws and, beating back protesters in Broadview, Illinois, who are protesting the ICE processing facility, which makes it sound like they're making Soylent Green out of these people. But also, sending in the National Guard to Portland and all this other stuff. And it's just wild to me that they don't see this for what it is, and it seems so obvious to the rest of us,
right?
And I do think that there is like a First Amendment thing going on there where we have been so laissez-faire about First Amendment and Second Amendment that we have allowed these media bubbles to spring up in these echo chambers. And so even with center-right Republicans who are disgusted by MAGA and don't align themselves with it, I do worry that even if those people do stand up, find a backbone, tell their story about how they were disappointed by or duped by Trump and his handlers and all this other stuff, because these people don't really venture outside of their own media bubbles. Anything that the, center-right people or center-left people say to try to convince them that, no, this is a fascist death cult and it's having a real negative impact on your life, they're not going to believe it because it's not coming from the same mouthpieces that they've just been trained to only listen to for the last decade and a half.
Which has been interesting to watch Fox News kind of start to, like, there was an interview with Trump and a Fox News reporter, and she was like, yeah, so the economy is down, this is all down, this is really all down, like, what are we going to do? And he's like, coming at them. Oh, Fox News is the worst reporting. I thought Fox News was your favorite.
Yeah.
Like anyone who criticizes him. It's just, I mean, and the thing that will begin to happen is like people, which I feel like we've seen already a little bit, is people will get fired from Fox News who say things that he doesn't like.
I think that really the solution, and it's going to be a heavy lift. It's going to take a concerted effort from a unified front of center-right people, centrist, center-left people, even, you know, further left progressives. I mean, I feel like the very extreme left, they're basically just NPCs as far as I'm concerned.
They all are.
But everyone's going to have to perform kind of a psyop where you give them a taste of what they want to hear, and then it's like a sandwich thing where you're just like, I'm going to have to give you a dose of reality, but I'm going to have to sandwich it between something that you want to hear on the front end and then, you know, wrap up with something kind of sweet on the back end, in hopes that the meat actually sinks into them. Because I think that just like Trump doesn't want to hear any kind of criticism of his policies or anything that he says, these people don't want to hear any criticism from people about their poor electoral choices. And so anytime they people who don't share those views come at them with that kind of tone or messaging, they immediately tune out. And it sucks because I don't like having to even like engage these people at all. But I think like maybe the way to do it is just to start conversations that have nothing to do with policy or politics or current events or what's going on, and then just wait for opportunities to present themselves like kind of organically in a conversation, and then just stay on a really even keel emotionally, and then talk about like, whoa, that's a really interesting point, but you know, this is something I've observed in my own life. What do you think about that? Like, how is that impacting you? Because I honestly feel like if we try to like beat them back with sound bites, it's not going to work.
You know, it's not my calling as a person to deprogram people. It's not something that I feel skilled enough to do. I think that I'm a far too left person for them to want to listen to me.
Yeah, because you start with, I think just humans should have rights. And that's a huge jump.
So I really think that the people who have to do it are professionals. There are people who this is their job. They get people out of other cults, so maybe we can do it here. And people who are Republicans who have left, maybe we'll be able to like kind of crack through whatever. Like we'll understand what they need to hear to feel okay. I just like genuinely don't have the patience for it to be like. I don't know. I won't be able to have that argument. And
no, I don't. And I've tried many times. And it's like throwing something at a brick wall, because there's always a justification for why it's okay on that. And there's always a biblical, the hypocrisy, it's reached such a deafening roar that I truly can't. I just can't. I can't have these conversations with people. I try to appeal to empathy, compassion, humanity, just as I know, as I expect them to know it. And it's, well, yeah, but this is a law. It was, in 1930s Nazi Germany, there were laws too. They are not like.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that keeps coming up, especially in the comments on our posts on social media, from the MAGA folks that actually get served our stuff, because the algorithm,
loves it.
Loves to feed on the rage, but they love to trot out the whole like, well, they shouldn't have broken the law by coming here illegally.
You didn't drink when you were 17, Casey?
Right, but the thing that is, there's this disconnect between people on the left who are like, you said you were going to go after criminals, but you're not. And then they'll say, well, they are criminals. They came here illegally. Well, that's a civil offense, not a criminal offense.
Mm-hmm. Which they also can't
wrap their head around.
Yeah.
So I think that, this is the end stage of 50 years of cutting public education funding kind of staring us in the face.
Half of this country was Mexico.
I know.
Where you
Los
want them
Angeles,
to be?
Rio Pulse
California.
Altos. They want a white neo-nationalist Christian America.
There were no white people naturally on this continent.
You came here illegally on a boat with no papers.
They have a smart-ass answer for all of that stuff.
Of
and
course.
They'll say like, well, the indigenous peoples must not have wanted it that bad, otherwise they wouldn't allow themselves to be conquered. You know, that's literally what I've seen people say. In comments.
I feel like that.
I think we need to. I think we need to move on before Tess and I
have no nice things to say to that. I have only.
I don't either.
I'm very grateful. I haven't seen that take. I hope to never see that take, and I hope whoever has that take gets scalped.
Immigrants who voted for Trump that came here the right way and supposedly were pro-Trump's agenda before he was inaugurated this time, said that they felt like it was an insult and a slap in the face that other people were coming here illegally when they came here the right way. And it's just like, things were different 25, 30, 40 years ago when you did it the right way. Like, it was easier. It's the same thing with like the H-1B visa program that he's completely
$100,000.
Like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it was easier to do it then. And like now it's like this onerous thing. And it's just like, you think some unemployed, factory worker or farmer is going to all of a sudden know how to like code? Like, be serious. Like, there's no way that we can just replace this like self-inflicted brain drain at the drop of a hat. And it's the same thing with all these tariffs to like reshore like domestic manufacturing. It's not going to happen, at least not on any kind of like quick timeline. And it just seems insane to me that people don't realize it. But no one from the top of the current administration all the way down to the, poorest MAGA voter has bothered talking to anyone that's like a subject matter expert in any of these like areas.
Why would they? They wouldn't say what they want them to hear in order to advance the regime.
Right. And they would take anything that they don't understand as being like talked down
news.
To.
Yeah, fake news.
Yeah, and they don't want to be made to feel like ignorant or unintelligent. And I get it. No one wants that. But at the same time, like,
you put yourself in a position to take care of a nation, you got to have to accept that you don't have all the answers.
Right. And also, like, I mean, I'm co-founder of Boredwalk. I seek out relationships and friendships with people that are smarter than I am because I want to learn from them. And the kind of like wholesale rejection of that concept, particularly by people on the right, is something that I don't understand, because like, how are you going to get better? Like, you're angry that someone stole your job. Be better at your job than that person. That's the answer. It's not necessarily about they're willing to do it for less. Maybe that is true, but work smarter, not harder. Like, make yourself so valuable that you're not going to lose your job. And so that really, really frustrates me. And I know that that's kind of like a loaded statement because, yeah, there are lots of people that haven't had like educational opportunities, or, maybe they were just born into like a failing town. Like, the parents and grandparents just kept thinking the factory jobs were going to come back, and then they just never did. And so now they're stuck there and they don't have a way out, which isn't true. Like, if you want it badly enough, you can figure out how to get out of there, but it is a lot of work. You have to be willing to do the work. And so there's like a lot of complaining about, I'm owed this, and this was taken from me, as though there's like a limited sized pie. And it's just like, no, the pie is ever expanding, but you need to be willing to reach out and grab it. And sometimes that means taking the form of staying politically engaged, go to town halls, ask what your elected representatives are doing to help you and the people in your community, and hold them accountable. And if they're not doing that, vote them out and get people in who will. And that applies to both people on the right and people on the left. I think it's fine to criticize both parties, whether it's the Democrats, the Republicans, for failing their constituents and prioritizing the interests of the donor class. That is totally valid, and that should be a partyless indulgence. Like, everyone should be doing that all the time. Yeah. But I don't like this whole, we are buying into the lie of conservative rugged individualism when really we're the whiniest bunch of mashed potato people in the country.
Well, yeah, to expect effort to change their life wouldn't make sense because they expect it to just come to them.
Well, and it's like, again, at the end of the day, that is not the fault of immigrants. It is the fault of the people who are in power and who are choosing to, Yeah, maybe replace your job with immigrants, but
Or,
frequently technology.
I was gonna say robots,
Mostly
like
robots.
delivery robots, delivery drivers, all of it can
all
be done.
factories.
Yep. Even as we said in the beginning, acting. They introduced an AI actress.
Anyway,
So-
that's what. Anyway, blame the ruling class.
Yeah,
That's
blame the people
who's-
that are reinforcing entrenched power
Who made
structures.
education
Choosing to
too
do
expensive
this.
to have? Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
ICE and now federal forces are beating back protesters exercising their First Amendment rights all across the country,
Oh.
but particularly in predominantly liberal locations, because it's just like such a blatant violation of First Amendment rights.
Agreed.
And everyone should be scared about that.
I do want to encourage anybody who is in those cities that has National Guard deployed. You were the guinea pigs to see what would happen if he did. And I want to big ups to anybody who showed up to protest, showed up to fight back, and gave them hell and a run for their money, because that was out
we
of
have to
the
keep
fascist
doing.
playbook. He's going to keep doing it in big cities to see what he can do. And if we continue to show up, he will continue to feel the resistance. And that's just what we got to do, apparently, at this point in 2025.
And they will come after you in red states too. You
Yeah,
think
that's next.
They don't think that.
you think that the Sinclair family in Wyoming isn't going to hesitate to call in a favor to have your uprising put down because you are like running out of food and you can't afford to pay your energy bills during the winter in Wyoming? They are absolutely going to send those people in after you and your lily white family.
Okay, moving on. We have a review on one of our Bloodthirsty and Bewitched activity books from Victoria Logue, who says, looks like fun. She said, to be completely honest, I bought this as a gift for my daughter. I will admit to having glanced through it at first, though, and it looked like it would be tons of fun. Maybe I can give hints and someone will get it to me for my birthday. Well,
Ooh, hint, hint.
they are very fun. Perhaps just give your husband or wife or non-binary partner a list with your wishes and demands on it.
Yeah.
See what happens and save yourself money.
Yeah, we have a wish list app on the website too. Just make your own wish list and just email it to someone.
And our comment we're reacting to today was left on one of our Delve Deck ads. This person says, I couldn't get people to pay $5 for a novel I worked for 2 years on. I wouldn't pay over $20 for this product. Power to you if people pay this, though. And to that we say they do. And they spend a lot of money at Boredwalk. Because the products are very, very good. And to no one wanting to buy your novel that you worked for 2 years on, I would just say you probably didn't have the best advertising or marketing. This is Tess and I's kind of full-time job. If we're not advertising the products, we are advertising the clothes with every single skit that we do. So a lot of people would pay $20, and it is worth the $20. I would say it's worth even more than $20. And it's hours of endless fun. And yeah,
It's also just like a crazy comment to be
It's
like,
just crazy.
no one wanted to buy my thing, so
I'm surprised people want
just-
yours.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. Okay, for our audio listeners, we are moving on to my favorite part of the podcast, where we answer some of our questions from our Delve decks that you can find at boardwalk.com. I'm going to go medium vent today because I feel like we got a lot of energy out on this podcast. What do you consider a total waste of money?
I think that, okay. I'm going to preface this by saying that your body is yours and you should do whatever the f- you want to your body if it makes you happy. But I think, especially for women, although some men fall prey to this as well, I think that capitalism and the patriarchy is preying on our insecurities and are trying to sell us bullshit. And I think that it is a gigantic waste of money. Like, I love doing, like, I do a lot of skincare. It comes out of a fear of aging for sure, which is not good. But at the same time, like, there are people who are, like, I feel like, I think in my head I'm like a reasonable level of it, but there are people who are dropping like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on like trying to maintain this vision of beauty and youth that is created by the patriarchy, that is created by capitalism, that is meant to keep you down and distracted and miserable. And it's like, that just to me feels like a waste of money.
I'm going to go with the big ticket item and say cars, like particularly like luxury cars or performance like sports cars. I just feel like it's such a weird it's a weird vanity purchase, especially because it's like an immediately depreciating asset. And I don't like think in those terms. I'm just very utilitarian about stuff. And so I have I drive a 2010 Honda Insight, and it's now 2025, and I don't have plans to like replace that until it costs significantly more to repair it than to just buy another new used car that gets decent mileage.
Yeah.
And when I see people that like upgrade their vehicle every 2 or 3 years, I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that behavior. This is from the original deck. What time period would you most like to vacation to?
Mid to late 90s. I know that seems so basic because I experienced it, but there were non-smoking sections in restaurants by then, which growing up as someone that has never smoked a cigarette and never really liked the smell of it and had parents that...
Never even a drunk cig?
Nope. Being able to go into a restaurant and not have to deal with that stale smell is great.
Oh, man,
The
don't
music
go to Reno.
was great. Oh, I've been to Reno. I'm well aware. Vegas is the same way.
That's my represent.
But yeah, the music was great. The fashion wasn't a complete train wreck, and most people had a semblance of civil liberties that they were able to enjoy, because I feel like any further back than that, you're going to have to start making trade-offs. Like, yeah, the fashion in the 60s was cool, but I'm going to just, die 15 years earlier from secondhand smoke or whatever. Or you're going to have to see law enforcement beat up people for no good reason. Shocker how we're experiencing that again, but that's how I feel about it. So I'd probably just go with like the 90s.
I think I would go to Pompeii.
Oh,
I'd
like
go all
right
the
before the eruption?
Yeah, I mean, I would go. Yeah, anytime pre Vesuvius.
Okay.
But I also, as they're uncovering more and more statues, I fully believe that women were matriarchs of all societies. I think if you look at nature and you see animals that have like menstrual cycles like we do, they're all matriarchal societies. I truly, truly believe before men and patriarchy took over, women led, and we had a great society. And if you go to Pompeii, they're uncovering statues that depict all these women in positions of revered respect and power. And I think I would just like to see a society and a community that existed and valued women before we became objects, submissives, and we have opinions. Also, I would love to see Pompeii. Like, if I went there a few years ago, coolest city ever. It felt like it was alive, even though it's not. And some of the tile, the original color, is preserved. So I want to go back again and see what else they've uncovered.
Yeah.
But I would go to Pompeii.
I would probably, I guess, like similar-ish time period. I would do like an ancient Greek thing. I love Greek history and mythology, and I just like want to go to like a Dionysus festival.
Oh my God, same. Oh my God, a 3-day festival with a bacchanal.
Yes,
This tracks. I mean, with your with your Two Truths and a Lie episode a few weeks ago, I'm like, okay, yeah, that does track for Tess. All right, we're gonna end on a dark joy. What do you find physically attractive in others?
like tits and ass, baby.
Big bulges. Ooh.
Good teeth.
Good teeth. Good teeth. I've found teeth attractive many times.
I
It's
think
like a
that
weird.
I'm more of like a legs person. I
Really?
just my answer had to be stupid at first because it's really just like asking for a joke. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Legs. I love legs.
I'm a big. I don't find anyone really attractive at first. I think everybody looks like a weird
Same.
meat sack, and then as I get to know them, it's the same with movie like actors. Like it's literally the same. I have to
Vibes.
like you as a person first. But I would say like either your teeth or like this part of your shoulder neck area because I'm gonna spend a lot of time there.
Okay.
Okay.
So, like resting.
Okay.
I like to be horizontal and cuddled a lot.
Okay. All right.
right.
So
that makes
those are
sense.
my attractive features in a person.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I guess
It's like short shorts, everyone. The shortest shorts. Come on, say it with me. Short
Short,
shorts.
short.
I love
Booty
that,
cheeks
like-
out. Booty cheeks out.
Tess is the possessor of the longest legs in the room right now. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm really into legs. And it's just like,
You're like, all right,
No, it's fine. I think
Someone loves themselves.
for me, the teeth thing, it's like I can't stare at someone's legs constantly, and I feel like if someone's got a really cute smile, like everything can
Meredith,
kind of
show me your teeth.
Wow, great teeth.
Cutie. And those are our Delve Deck segments. If you want to get your own, you can find them at boardwalk.com. They're super fun for awkward first dates, ice breaking, seeing parents you haven't talked to in a while. With that being said, we're going to go film some comedy skits. So check out our pages. So watch, like, subscribe, comment, other things. We love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, goodbye.
bye.